Whoa. Boston C here, abovethesun.io. Everybody good? Life's great. Peace. Realizing how important breathing is. Every breath, inhalation, exhalation. The breath of big love. We're beyond human. True story. Justin Paul Abraham. Let's keep going. Okay, gotta put your big lady, big man spiritual pants on. We're gonna talk about telepathic. Oh, by design. Jesus knew their thoughts. Matthew 12:25. Well, how did he know his thoughts? Well, good question. So what do you got to say, Boston C? Well, you know, your intuition's amazing. And when you get with people and you're not judging because you've been judging yourself, but you observe and, you can see how people posture themselves, what's coming out of their mouth, the emotions that they're feeling, all of that are cues, right? So I think it's easier than, it might seem. Well, let's talk about this telepathy, cardionosis. Like you just know when how do you know? How did you know? I just know it. Well, let's talk about it. Justin has to say. In the next two chapters, we're going to build on our kainos, new world, by looking at the new way we can communicate in the spirit. Priceless ability that activates more fully as we mature with Christ. The media calls this ability telepathy. You notice the mainstream media, the alternative media, blue, red, it's all one bucket. Just saying. Scientists sometimes call it mental radio. How's your mental radio? Yeah, I like that. Don't get freaked out. I know how challenging and controversial this may sound. Please stick with me. I'm with you, bro. You will not only be reassured that it is entirely biblical, but you will see it as something Jesus did every day. You will also be excited at the possibilities that await you as a kainos being, just like Jesus. You are destined to become increasingly telepathic. It is natural in the new creation order of life. It is the future. Dictionary.com defines telepathy as the communication between people of thoughts, feelings, desires, etc., involving mechanisms that cannot be understood in terms of known scientific laws. So when Boston C hangs out with maybe 1,000 people this weekend, I'm going to instantly see who you connect to. Because it's like you're just speaking the same language. It's a love language, right? Awesome. The word tele simply means over a distance, like a television. Whilst telepathy means perception or empathy. Catholic theologians have a word for this. They call it cardionosis, which means heart-to-heart knowledge. Isn't that beautiful? That's a true story right there. In 1930, a man called Upton Sinclair wrote a famous book about this called Mental Radio. He proposed telepathy was a scientific phenomena. Upton based it on many interesting experiments with his wife and close friends. Albert Einstein endorsed this unusual pioneering book and said the idea was worth exploring. Mental radio deserves the most earnest consideration, not only of the laity, but also of the psychologists by profession. Despite not fully understanding what was happening, Sinclair and Einstein both believed there was something hidden going on. Oh yeah, there was. something science doesn't understand yet. In 1924, another scientist, Hans Burge, also witnessed telepathy in action. He had a dangerous bus accident and nearly died. Somehow his sister sensed it happen. This is the sister. Hans Burger, the German who recorded the first human EEG, or the electroencephalogram, but I'm not saying that again, schmuggenhug, in 1924, fell while riding a horse and was almost run over by a team of horses racing down the road inches from his head. His sister, many miles away, sensed the danger and insisted that her father send a telegram to find out what was wrong. She had never sent a telegram before, and the experience left Burger so curious that he switched from studying math and astronomy to medicine, hoping to discover the source of that psychic energy. Yeah. Have you ever had something like that? You knew something was wrong with a friend? You don't know how, you just knew. Years ago, I remember a strong urge to phone my friend Mary. Something was seriously up. I called Mary immediately. It turned out she had a very nasty situation that day at work. She lived alone, and the call timing was perfect. It's strange, but we all do this. We think of a friend, then they suddenly message us on Facebook or call. How does that happen? We burst into a song and someone else says, I was just thinking of that song. We meet a person for the first time and something doesn't feel right. How did you know? They couldn't be trusted. Intuition, which is a spiritual gate. Or have you noticed two people often have the same idea at the same time? How many times do two new movies or two technologies come out that are nearly identical? In fact, it is so common, scientists have a specific name for this. They call it the multiples effect. Here's the definition. There is a fascinating phenomenon in science known as the multiples effect. The multiples effect is when multiple people geographically isolated from one another come up with the exact same discovery at the exact same time. People who have absolutely no communication with one another come upon the exact same discoveries and inventions at the same time, often not realizing that their idea had already been recently presented to the public by someone working on the same problem. The evidence is growing that people could connect outside of the current paradigm of physics. In 2014, scientists broke the news they had successfully sent a mental message. Whoa, these guys are so bright, huh? Scientists have sent a mental message from one person to another 4,000 miles away in what they claim is the world's first successful telepathy experiment. They connected one person in Mumbai, India to a wireless headset linked to the internet and another person to a similar device in Paris. When the first person merely thought of a greeting such as ciao, Italian for hello, the recipient in France was aware of the thought occurring. I've included the science to get you thinking. The more important question for us is, what's the Bible say? Was Jesus telepathic? Can we see it in Scripture? The simple answer is, yeah, absolutely. It is throughout the Bible. It was normal for Christ to hear the hidden inner thoughts. Check out the following verses with innocent new creation eyes. It's incredible. But he, knowing their thoughts, said to them, That's Luke 11, 17, 18. Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said, why do you think evil in your hearts? Matthew 9, 3-5. But Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, Matthew 12, 25. Jesus cut to the core of the real inner heart issue, targeting the secret motives of the soul. He often answered not their spoken words, but their secret and deepest longings. The true questions. In heaven, the heart speaks louder than the tongue. We say that one more time. In heaven, that's around you, the heart speaks louder than the tongue. Jesus knew what was in their hearts. John 2:24. I know everyone's thoughts and feelings. Revelation 2:23. I x-ray every motive. Revelations 2:23. This is one of my favorites. But Jesus didn't entrust his life to them. He knew them inside and out, knew how untrustworthy they were. He didn't need any help in seeing right through them. John 2:24. He saw right through them. Oh boy, do we need that today. Yeah. Jesus came as light and truth. He was functioning free from external illusions. Nobody could fool him with their nice appearance, titles, or educated words. So sweet. He would not play the human mind games and trade into lies. Facebook and Twitter wouldn't impress. Oh, by the way, it's X now. Haha. For the Lord searches all hearts and minds and understands every intent and inclination of the thoughts. 1 Chronicles 28:9. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. True story. It's called character. We all see it above and below the sun. So whatever you're doing in the dark, just, okay, acknowledge it with big love, sort it out, but okay. Come out from hiding. We all got stuff. We all got junk. I'm always taking out my trash every day. Well, what is that? I don't know. It might be a bad attitude, anything. Little things, little this, that, the other thing. That's between me and big love. You do you. Don't do mom, dad, wife, husband, boyfriend. You do you. Do hard things. Do it for a long time. 20, 30 years. Write your story. Everybody's got a story and a purpose. Right? All right. Where am I? Oh. For the Lord searches all hearts and minds and understands every intent and inclination of the thoughts. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Yet in it all, Big Love saw through the lens of love. He saw the hidden treasure, pulled the people out of illusion and mental prisons. Mental prisons. Awakening the lost, drawing them back into the real world. Jesus didn't use telepathy to condemn humanity. He came to show us big love is for us. He came to bring justice for the needy and freedom for the captives. He, Jesus, won't judge by appearances, won't decide on the basis of hearsay. He'll judge the needy by what is right, render decisions on the earth's poor with justice. Cardiognosis or telepathy is not about condemnation or treating people badly. It is simply about living from a higher perspective. It is the joy of knowing and being known. Big deal right there. The joy of knowing and being known. Great way to live. Being vulnerable and honest with one another. You got to run with the right folk, right? Got to get rid of them. Put them the boundaries around your deal, around your gray space, right? Toxicity and chaos don't come in here, and then deal with your own and get it out, right? Cardiognosis of telepathy is not about condemnation and treating people badly. It's simply about living from a higher perspective. It is the joy of knowing and being known, being vulnerable and honest with one another, walking in the light of true community. Can you imagine Jesus without this ability? I can't. Justin can't. He says it right here. Then why do you imagine yourself without this ability? Yeah, because we've never been taught this, right? From, a trusted source, right? Justin's credible. Been following the bro man for a while. Good man. Got a good heart. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I might not agree with everything. Okay. Justin's doing Justin. Boston C's doing Boston C. You do you, right? Everybody does their own deals. Just strive to thrive in your own lane. The exact life in Christ is now repeated in us. We are being co-revealed in the same bliss. We are joined in oneness with him. Just as his life reveals you, your life reveals him. Colossians 3:4. For he is the mirror of you. True story. Wow. Heavy, right? You can take it. When you hear truth, just how's the water of your body doing? You're vibrating? You feeling good? You know, your brain racing, thinking, well, I can't do this. You know, people are gonna, really? Okay. Don't worry about what anybody thinks below the sun about anything, ever. You take all your deal to Big Love Direct. Hello? You got the direct right there. You don't go through any, you go directly up and down. Get the revelation, get your deal, come down. People come against you, things come against you. Okay. Getting wisdom. How do I use your word? How do I feel on the inside? What do I do? It's a great way to live. Right? Living in the now. Because your past just passed 1 second ago and your future just showed up. It's here. You create your future. Imagination, desire, benevolent intentionality. It's a real technology. It really works. Right? Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Boston C, love you. Love you soon.